Alright, can everyone hear me okay? How's the quality of the video? Is everything looking good? I'm guessing so. I'm watching it on my phone right here just to make sure here that we're looking good, and we are indeed looking good. I don't think I've seen one of those before. And the Rock and Randall. I have a Vikings third gen that I still have to fix. And I also have a Buddy Big League that I gotta work on too that I got recently. It's the athletics version. Anyways, let me come on over here and say hi. What's going on, everybody? Happy 20th anniversary to iDogs everywhere. Technically it was yesterday, but today is a very historical day because the first ever iDog was designed by Hasbro or Sega Electronic, or sorry, Tiger Electronics, Sega Toys, and Hasbro. And that would be this guy right here. Courtesy of Sterling and Andrews for uncovering this information. This January 4th was the first design of the first prototype iDog. And oh, back here, buddy. And then here's my other one, my other first gen. But that being said, I think it's important to go all out for the 20th anniversary because, you know, in an effort to hopefully somehow get noticed by Hasbro. I don't know if a few of you remember, but some of my really long-time subscribers when I was really little, I did a, what you call it? I actually did a thing to Hasbro, submitted like a form, asked them to bring it back, and they were like, "No, sorry." Anyways, athletics is my team. Cool. I can get it out. I think it's I think they have the mouth off though. I need to fix it too. The entire head mechanism, or the mouth where the mouth moves, that's completely snapped off in this. It's just like, it's completely snapped off. So, yeah, I have it in here. I have a ton of stuff I have to fix still, but. And it's a cool design too. I think this is one of the cooler looking ones. Because you got the yellow on the hat with the green. I got this on Shop Goodwill. And the white pants. Yeah. Yeah. So there's that. No box. And I have the mouth laying around, so don't worry. Alright. Let me look at the chat here. I have my phone right here, as y'all know, so I can actually monitor. We got 5 people. That's pretty good. I believe the last time I did one of these was the mall when I was at school. Obviously, I'm home now because I'm on my winter break, which is very cool. I go back on the 20th, 19th or 20th. I think I'm going to head back to Pomona to start out semester 2. So that should be fun. This is all the iDogs I have here, except for one. The only one I'm missing is the one that I found at Savers in Pomona. First couple of weeks I was there, along with the scuba and the bagoats. Speaking of Goodwill finds, I might go thrifting later today. I want to do a bunch. This one right here. It's another first gen. I'm gonna customize it eventually. We named him Spub. Maddie and I named him Spub. But that's my most recent iDog, and he is currently living in Pomona in my dorm, and I always have him play music. So I have some cool plans for later today. I have a big history video dropping for you guys where I just yap for 15 minutes straight about my experiences with getting all of these advancements in iDog repairs, and of course the kickstart into the iDog world in 2005 when the all got started. Really big stuff planned. I was planning on doing, I have a few posts planning. Yes, Maddie Spub. Thank you for the, I think you came up with that name actually, so. Also, I also have a few community post plans for later today. Nothing too big, just, yeah. I had the iDog rave video post last night. The photos, this photo slideshow. Okay, so those photos were I don't know if any of y'all have seen this video, this one right here. Can you guys see that? This guy right here. That has all of my childhood iDog pictures that are in the albums that my mom has kept. I'm really grateful for her because she documented really well. I get somehow all the iDog or the pictures of me mostly, but I mean obviously, but there's iDogs because I had those things with me everywhere. I did everything with them in between 2009 and 2010. So I'm very grateful that we have that photographic evidence, and to know that the waved shoe iDog amps, so like all these guys here, to know that these were in stores at the earliest February of 2009, because that's when I got my Green Circuits amped brand new in box at Target, because it was on Valentine's Day of 2009 February, because the album was the little thing with the album photo, it was dated 2/14/2009, and the caption for it was me playing with my brand new green iDog that I got with my grandpa, which basically confirms that that's when I bought it brand new. So, and that was my second iDog ever. So that's physical confirmation that in 2009 February, those things were in stores. Now, additionally, all of these right here came from the original white 2005 first gen, because the pink, okay, so I didn't know this at first, but the white 2005 was the only iDog in production for a long time, at least in the US. The pink and black ones came shortly after that, and I always thought the pink was before the black, but no, the black was before the pink. So yes, very interesting in terms of the development of these guys. Also, I should mention that I don't know how long I'm going to have this live going for. Probably not that long. I mean, I'll have it going for an hour at the least, probably more than that. But yeah, because I might have plans to. I got lots more videos planned. I got to go film some stuff for you guys. Most prized possession. Good question. Are we talking just iDogs or just anything, any animated Gemmy? Honestly, if you're talking just iDogs, I'm gonna have to say this. This Blue Flowers amp. Why? Not only is it a rare wave 2, but this was what started all for me. This was my first iDog ever. I owned this one before any of the others, and it's in absolute crap condition, as you can see, because it's been through my entire childhood, fixed it numerous times, and somehow it's still, oh, it's in try me, and the batteries are dead. Yeah, I need to, some of these I have to take the batteries out because I've been away for a long time, but yeah. So yeah, there's that. Let me get some better batteries in them real quick, actually. Hold on. I got some screwdrivers. But yeah, in terms of iDog related stuff, it's definitely going to be this guy, because this is what started it all for me. This is what led to this. And that, I think, you said anything, that honestly, even with other stuff in the mix, like Gemmy, Robot Vacuum, Seiko clocks, there's some things that come close, like my RE601B Seiko clock, and what else? Like my original blue vest Snowflake Spinning Snowman. Yeah, it's not rare or anything, but that thing, I've had that thing for years as well. Not as long as this, obviously, but that thing I've gone through so much with, and it's just such a nostalgic item. But this one's gonna top it for me. Which is your favorite gen of what is considered the OG iDog? Good question. It's definitely a toss-up between first gen and second gen 05. They're objectively better than 07s for numerous reasons, including twice as many riffs, light sensor, middle light changes color instead of stays blue, saves moods when you take the batteries out, barks before it riffs, all that good stuff. harder to get the moods up, which makes it a little more challenging, a little more interesting. What's up, Jemmy Kid? How you doing? I'm gonna have to say 2nd gen over 1st gen. And the reason I say that is because when the 1st gen wakes up, it wakes up instantly, obviously, when you press the nose. But what that does is that lights the face up, and it does this. It makes sound as it's flapping its ears, which is going to drain more power. The 1st gen flaps its ears and then does all that. And why I think that's an advantage is because then what the 1st gens will do is, if they're lower on battery, it'll like stall the ears a bit and it won't move as fast, and then it'll think the batteries are extremely low when they're not actually that low, and then it'll just go super fast and kill the batteries. That's why I like to run my 1st gens on an adapter. Now, I know what you're thinking. How do you run an iDog on an adapter? I did a video on that a few years ago with my pink Dalmatian, with this thing right here, where I actually rigged an iDog to an adapter. I did it with an amp too. I actually have an example. This is a parts amped battery cover. It's got 2 alligator clips on one side and an adapter port on the other. And this can actually, I can probably show it. If you guys want to see it, I can show it on this thing right now. When you plug it into 4.5 volts, it should actually function. And that works because that way I don't have to get new batteries for this thing either. So what I do is I connect the, I've basically memorized where these go, these alligator clips. So I connect the alligator clips like so. Go ahead and put the battery cover on. Screw it back together. I think I'm gonna leave this adapter plug on him for a bit. The only downside with doing the adapter thing on non-2005s is obviously every time you unplug it, it's gonna not save the mood, but you'll get it moving really strong for a long time, which is really nice, and it won't. And the good thing about iDogs, here's the great thing about iDogs, you don't have to worry about the motors going bad on fresh batteries. Why? Because whenever they wake up, they actually test their motor speeds and will purposefully move slower on brand new batteries to conserve power and to make it look like they're not going absolutely ballistic. Now, do I have an adapter in here? I might or I might not. I gotta check. I need a 4.5 volt. Oh yeah, I do have one. Good. So I'm gonna go ahead and plug this guy in under here and show you the the amps running on the adapter. I hope this extends long enough. Ugh, it's just short. Okay, what can I do? Actually, I have another adapter, or I have another outlet behind all this stuff. Let me try to move this without any of them falling. There we go. Plug this in here. I'm just gonna move this back and grab that later. There we go. Let's see if I missed anything. 05s are better? Yep. What's up, June Studios? Interesting question from Bombo3DDX. So I think for me, it's dealing with the, I don't want to say pressure from others, but I don't know if you guys know, but some collectors just get whatever they can to look good, I guess. But I feel like, and that's understandably hard to not do, because one of the big things about being collectors is you want to be seen by other people. You know, the whole point of being in a community is to express these things with one another. So I've succumbed to pressure in the past of wanting an item just because it's like all the rage right now, or like it's like really good. Like I used to get Singing Fish, like I used to try to buy like every new one I didn't have yet, just to have a decent number of them, to be recognized by veteran fish collectors out there, when really it's not about it's not the community that defines the items themselves. The items are independent of the community. That's what I say to anyone who's talking about Gemmy community drama. Yeah, leave the community, because that's probably a good thing to do if it's actually hurting you in a negative way. But just always remember that the community does not affect the items themselves. The community happened because the items exist. It doesn't affect how good the items are. The items are independent of the community, and therefore you shouldn't have to change what you like because other people ruined it for you. Anyways, I just went on a huge tangent. It's snowing outside. I'm in Redondo Beach, California, so it does not snow here. I've seen it snowed 2 times in my life. Maybe, actually, I think, yeah, 2 times in my life. Once I was driving in it. Wait! I have to resolder this. The wire just came off of the battery, the adapter thing. That's stupid. Hold on, I might be able to I might be able to fix it real quick. Why does this happen on live of all times? It's okay. At least it wasn't the dog itself, but rather the adapter. And that should be good enough. All right. All right. Have you ever had a snowflake spinning frosty? I have, actually. I got it at Savers for a good price, and I ended up selling it because I didn't like it as much as the Snow Miser ones, and it was not an O2. Any frosty that isn't an O2 has the dumbest looking face ever, and therefore just I don't like how they look. If once you see an O2, you can never see the others the same. What else here? I'm off camera, I just realized. There we go. If I see another one at thrift store for Frosty, then maybe, yeah, probably. How much harder IDog collecting get after Planet Clue made his IDog video? So once he made his video, everyone started skyrocketing eBay prices for these. Oh, Amazon Alexa. Alexa, what are my notifications?
Good morning, Anthony. One new notification.
Anthony's my dad.
From Amazon. U.S. National Weather Service has issued an air quality alert for Redondo Beach.
Well, good thing I'm not going outside. Anyways, so basically the big problem with that was it wasn't the amount of iDogs for sale, it was the prices of them that really changed after KK Clue's video. And don't get me wrong, his video was awesome. And also Dank Pods made a video shortly after that, inspired by the KK Clue video. So that in combination with the KK Clue video really surged the iDog popularity for a little bit. And the effects of it never really died off. iDogs are still pretty not reasonably priced usually, unless you know where to look on like sites like Marketplace or stuff like that. There you can find some good deals. There's actually a Rainbow Dalmatian yesterday for under $20 shipped for sale on eBay, which is an absolute steal. I think that's less than retail. It sold this morning though, unfortunately. But it was actually a different version. It had the bigger light sensor that's seen on the Spy Dogs and the later model iDogs, and like the Pink 07 Dalmatian thing. But yeah, very interesting with that one. But yeah, fortunately, when I was when that video dropped, I was sort of leveling out with the collecting. I was still kind of in the hype, but I had gotten most of the ones I've wanted to get. Even now, I've gotten most of the ones that I've wanted to find. So I'm pretty content with. I don't plan on going out of my way to buy more online. If I see them at thrift stores, obviously I won't pass that up. But online, anyways, I've been just sitting with this thing. I'm gonna activate them right now. He's still gonna try me. Hold on. Forgot about that. So I have to like hold his wire to the thing. There you go. So yeah, that's him. I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect the adapter now. And I'll resolder that after the video, don't worry. I'll get that dealt with. He's sitting on his original battery compartment. Hold on. Okay. Now that's out of the way. What's up, Unknown Entity 1987? Yeah, the Rainbow Dalmatian. It's weird because this one has the small normal light sensor with the phototransistor that all these have, but the one that was for sale last night had the large light sensor. I'm guessing that meant it had black aux cable, black aux covering instead of silver. We're seeing more and more of those nowadays, which is of like different iDogs with those different ones. So I'm guessing those are just like late, because we know the silver came before the black and the small light sensor came before the big, so we're assuming just the black, like this one right here, this Canadian pink has a small light sensor but a black aux port, which is really strange. I don't think I've ever seen a large light sensor and silver aux port, though. That's something I still have to see myself. Well, the Dalmatian sold this morning at around 8 a.m. Pacific time. So, purple iDog without a light sensor. Yeah, you probably have this one, the 2007. 2007s don't have light sensors, and this is the purple 2007. It's actually pretty rare, so good for you that you have that. It was exclusive to Toys R Us, and it came with a matching bag. Rarities of iDogs change over time. I think that's up to interpretation, really. There will be times where they just start coming up all of a sudden, but keep in mind that that doesn't change the total number of that iDog there are on the earth. That number either remains constant or goes down from them being thrown away or destroyed or whatever, unfortunately. But there's no new ones being made, obviously. So that number is either constant or going down. So all iDog rarities are constantly going up, regardless of how much they show up on eBay. Whether they show up on eBay a lot is just coincidence, and whether everyone's deciding, all right, now's the time to get rid of them. So, and keep in mind, another trend is when a few people list theirs, other people will go on eBay and be like, oh, these are listed for sale. Maybe I should sell mine. And then they all go up for sale. Very similar thing happens to Gemmy items. Like, you guys know the Gemmy penguin with the little baby that comes out of the egg? The realistic version, not the cartoon version. That used to be super rare. And now it's basically, now it shows up just as much as the other version, if not more. I like the other version more, but my point was that they didn't make more of them just because more are showing up, but they just happen to be getting listed more often, which is interesting. All right, let's see here. Oh, wow, I missed a lot up here. The Canadian pink small light sensor with black aux. Yep, that is the exact same one I have. I wonder if all pinks were made like that, but I wouldn't know. British version of the Gemmy fire warming Santa snowman. I did not know that. I wasn't too familiar with that item in the first place. I never really researched it that much. $20, that's a good deal. I got mine in a lot with another Dalmatian that's been parted out and the black tattoo ant from Canada, obviously. Samsung is buying an app. Are they really? I'd have to look that up because that sounds hard to believe, low-key. But I'll take your word for it. Fun facts. Page for iDog is in the public domain. Because iPhone's everything. Legally, you can make your own iDog. I would need an Arduino and a lot of stuff for that. Where do you get Japanese iDogs? I get my Japanese iDogs. All of the ones I've gotten have either come from Mercari Japan or Yahoo Japan auctions. Very rarely they'll come up on eBay, but basically what you need to do is you need a proxy to import it from Japan to the US. You can use either Bai, a lot of people use Zen Market. I've been using Zen Market. I know for larger items like IBOs, people have been resorting to a proxy called Sendico lately. I use Zen Market. I've had no problems with it. Basically what you do, you go zenmarket.com, you punch in your upload you basically have to like upload credits, so you have to like kind of buy the like credits on there to buy stuff with, and then once you do that, they'll buy the proxy will buy the item for your bid on or buy the item for you. Um, well, I mean, you have to bid on it, but if it's a buy it now, they'll buy it for you, ship it to their warehouse. Then you have to pay for international shipping, and then they get sent to wherever you are. For me, with the U.S., and that's how I've gotten online. Let's see here. The Japanese iDogs, I have 5. I have white, pink lovely, blue happy, Sapporo, the one with the swirls on the ears, and then the blue. This is my most recent one, the blue one with the blue ears, which is in bad shape, as you can see, very yellow. But I couldn't pass it up because I always wanted to looking for those Toys R Us exclusive ones. They're so hard to find. It's not even funny. So. Well, in terms of, let's see, I'm really behind on this chat here. Y'all are going crazy. We've got 8 people. That's pretty good. British Warming Santa. Yeah, I talked about that a little bit. I've actually never heard of it. I mean, I've heard of it. I've seen the video of it. It's strange. I don't know. But yeah, I got to look into that. KK uses buy. That makes sense. Yeah, buy is easiest, I think, but Zen Market is pretty good too, and I usually use that. How do you properly search for Japanese iDogs? Either go iDog, I-dog, iDog Sega. Now keep in mind that the market might be pretty dry right now. There might be not a lot for sale right now. You usually just see the white ones. Basically, any of the other ones are super hard to find. If you're really lucky, you'll find the lovely, happier Sapporo version. But any other ones are like uber rare, extremely hard to find. Good luck finding those. But yeah, basically, yeah. If you want to go crazy, you can try translating Japanese searches and saying robot dog or dog speaker or something crazy and browse that forever. But usually that doesn't really work. Lovely version's pretty dope. I mean, hey, it took a long time to get all 5 of those Segos because I got my first one, I believe, in 2018, my white one. The blue happy one was, I think, 2019 or early 2020, and the Sapporo one came after that. The pink one was a gift from Downtown iDogger, and then the blue one I got just this year, the other blue one. So it's taken a long time to get all of them. Yeah, Syndico. A lot of people use Syndico for IBOs just because they've been, I guess, more reliable. I haven't been too up to date on IBO stuff, but yeah. I'm working on some cool new dances, though. Yeah. So in terms of, yeah, they'll be overpriced usually. You got to be patient and wait for a used one or one to come up for cheaper. They will show up for cheaper. My white one was less than $10, not including shipping. Oh yeah, it's always fun to plug them all into the aux cables. Yeah, I would not pay over $100 for a normal white one because that's the most common one. And if you're patient, there will be more that show up. That one shows. I could probably look right now, actually. Yeah, that's really cool that that there's a flea market opening near you. The closest one to me is the Rose Bowl flea market. I've gone to it a few times. I filmed it once, and I found a Rock and Randall and a Jasmine there, and a Caddyshack Gopher, but I didn't get it. I haven't been back since, actually, but maybe that's something to consider in the future. There's also near my college, near Cal Poly Pomona, there's a swap meet, which is similar to a flea market. It wasn't that good. They didn't really have anything good, but it was still cool to go and check it out. But near Pomona is some of the coolest thrift stores I've ever been to, called Red, White, and Blue Thrift Stores. I did a video of one where I found Billy Bass. and a shark vacuum. Speaking of vacuums, I have the I don't know if any of you saw the post, but remember that Roborock that I had? I have it charging right now, and hopefully gonna be able to test it today or tomorrow. I'm really excited about that, by the way. I've never actually had a Roborock before, but yeah, I'm getting off topic again. Common issues with untested iDogs. It's a luck of the draw, really. Sometimes you'll get lucky though. Most of the time they're fully working. Typically they don't have problems. Let's see, how many of these have I bought untested and been fully working? 1, 2. I mean, I don't know if they were all untested, but I never really cared if they were tested because I knew I could fix them. But very few of them actually needed fixing, and if they did, it was minor. Like I got a couple brand new, like the iDog Mini. Sometimes the iDog Minis, when they were new in the box, had blown speakers. My pink one did, my silver did not, and my blue did not. But yeah, yeah. Honestly, they're pretty hardy. So depending on which model it is, obviously, but I've never really had problems with their functionality. Every once in a while, you'll have problems, and honestly, in terms of what it could be anything. Speaker blown out, motor blown out, fried circuit board, which is rare, but it can happen. I've had it happen a bunch of times. Bad cosmetic condition, but there's not much you can do about that. It's super yellowed as well sometimes. Very, very, extremely rarely the lights will be out on them, but that's a super rare thing to happen. I've only had one iDog ever out of all of these that have had any sort of problem with the lights. Actually, 2. This one had a wire off of the bottom light. That's just a wire. The LED itself was fine. And that was a soft speaker too. So, get to take it with a grain of salt. As for the rest, motor, I think the big things to know are motor problems, speaker problems, circuit board problems, which sometimes are fixable, sometimes you got to replace the whole board. I think that might be it. And then the wiring problems as well. Sometimes the head sensors will be dirty and it won't detect when it's moving the head, so sometimes you have to go in there and clean that out. Same for the ears, depending on what model you have. All right, see you later, Ponymations. Oh yeah, corrosion in the battery compartment is a huge issue. Sometimes it will actually be so bad that you actually have to replace the terminals, or it'll actually seep onto the board and cause problems. That's what happened to my Purple 07. I actually had to give it a new component on the board because that's happened on it. But yeah, corrosion, corrosion probably number 1. If you can clean it out, great. It's hard to clean out on 05s though because of that. You have to, if it's like deep in the leg, you have to completely disassemble it, and that's a really complicated process. I did a video on it though. Me and Sterling filmed a video of the disassembly of a Gene Simmons Kiss iDog. That shows how to take apart the leg on an 05 or an 07. Light sensor is broken. Light sensor broken is an easy fix if you have the photo transistor on you. Same sensor if you have a Billy Bass that you parted out. The motion sensor can be used as an iDog sensor. What else? Anything with a motion sensor can be used as an iDog head sensor. You just have to know how to solder. Or you can probably just find photo transistors on like eBay or Amazon or AliExpress or some website. Yeah. So yeah, they're very plentiful. I've used a Billy Bass sensor on an iDog before and it's worked, which is really nice. Jemmy 2004 Snow Miser's here. That's pretty cool. Jemmy Restorer is here as well. The Jemmy Boys here. Oh, we got a lot of Jemmy people here. What's going on, guys? iDog and water. How did that... Okay. I have actually been curious to see what happens if you... I've always wanted to... I've never wanted to sacrifice any of my iDogs, but I've always been wondering what happened. So if I ever get an iDog that's like a duplicate or a parts one or something that... Or maybe it's partially fried... That's an experiment I feel like would be fun to test. Because people have done that with Zuzu Pets before, and after a few hours, they've been completely fine. No problems at all. I'm guessing... And I've heard people leaving iDogs out in the rain for multiple days, and they've been fine. Getting submerged in water, etc. It's an experiment I would be interested in trying out if I found some parts one that like didn't work or something that had problems that I couldn't fix or something like that. Let's see. Yeah, that's correct with the Me Jam series. Um, they were created by Sega Toys but distributed by Blue Box, and then they made the Me Jam What's-Ups. It has like a Caesar sometimes. That makes sense. IC doesn't have problems a lot. Corrosion, obviously, yeah, but the two that I have never needed fixing ever, besides corrosion. But both of them have never had problems. I fixed Furby Rocker's IC that had a speaker problem, but that was a very easy fix because the speaker's easy to access. Sterling Andrews' IC I replaced a microphone on. The IC chipper IC. I think he's talking about the IC as in the Penguin. I was talking about the Penguin. In terms of the actual IC chip, if that goes bad, good luck finding replacements, depending on which one. Like, there's an IC. I don't know if it's an IC, a transistor, or an EEPROM in the amps that goes bad all the time with the iDog amps, but it stops them from moving. 6 of my amps had that problem. I had to either replace the whole bodyboard or that component for all 6 of them to fix them. But, yeah. That, unfortunately, is a common problem. 07s have the same chip in them and and are exposed to that same problem, by the way. Yeah. And what do you know? I'm actually caught up. So we're up to 10 people now. I saw we were up to 16 people a minute ago. That was crazy. So glad y'all are showing up. If you want me to demo anything, if it's accessible to me, I can probably grab it. This took years to do. I've been collecting since early 2009, possibly late 2008. I wish it was documented when I got my first one. Billy Bass in a pool and fried instantly. That makes sense. The older Jemmy stuff does not do well in pools, but I've heard stories of newer stuff getting submerged in water and somehow being fine, but that's a risk. Do that kind of stuff at your own risk because stuff can happen. Jemmy and water do not mix that well. Fish dinner. So. It depends on the model. All of the ones I've dealt with have just been the surface mounted ones, the ones that look like standard ICs. But they're never more than 4 pin or the 8-pin ones. The IC or not the IC, the iTurtle I think had a 16-pin or like the 8-pin on each side. Or maybe it was 8-pin. I forget. I haven't been in the iTurtle in a good minute, but it was slightly different than the other ones. But yeah, the other one, like the amps, has a. I'm still not sure if it's an IC, a transistor, or a EEPROM. I'm pretty sure it's a transistor. Because it's smaller than, like, say, a 555 timer, but it's like the same structure as it. And it doesn't, like, I don't know what memory it would be saving in the dog, to be honest. Because the amps do not save their mood. Only the 05s do that. The 05s have an EEPROM in their head that actually saves the moods. That's how they can save their mood and personality. They're the only iDog that can do that because of that EEPROM. Yeah, now, y'all, I'm gonna hit you with this Snowy animatronics going crazy over EEPROMs. Jemmy Snowy ROM modules, ROMs, yeah, we got it all. If you know, you know. I do have do I have that video? I should, but I'm gonna go again next year because they said they actually have like a whole warehouse of stuff so that every time they sell out, they just restock it again next year. So next year I'm hoping to hit it early as soon as they open and film the good stuff when it's actually there. Hopefully we can actually find some decent items before it gets all picked over by collectors. I'm really hoping to. I don't care if I don't get a lot. I just want to film that because I feel like that's important documentation. Most stuff made by Jimmy is just awful. In terms of water getting submersion, yeah. In terms of quality, it depends on, what time of year it was made. Because, yeah, the older stuff is old, so that's why it's more prone to getting damaged, especially with circuit board related stuff. But, yeah, back in the day, it was like, when they were brand new, they were like the highest quality you could get. Alright, see you later, bro. Yeah, I haven't get around. Honestly, I don't think I'm gonna plan on uploading that one just because there's already documentation on YouTube of it, and there was nothing more in that video that I filmed. It would just be getting disappointed that they didn't have anything. But other than that, I'm gonna go next year and hopefully film, and hopefully they'll actually have stuff. But yeah, they told the owner of the store told me that they had a like some kind of storage unit, or not storage unit, yeah, some warehouse where they keep this old stock, and they said they have like tons of these little Grave River skeleton guys, but they're all like broken, and some are snapped off the base and some are corroded, etc. Unfortunately, and they were just gonna throw them away. But once they realized that there was a market for these things, they were like, all right, I guess we can try to sell these. And that being said, next year, hopefully, that we can see more of them there. I like Smart Industrial Group stuff. I've never owned anything from them, but yeah, I've always really enjoyed the Santas that play It's Christmas Time. I've always liked that song a lot. I remember in middle school I was obsessed with those items. Also, Northern Delight is a pretty cool item. I don't really like the Oh Christmas Tree one. I think the recording's cool, but I don't really like the voice on it. And the cheesy jokes. It's not a bad item by any means. It's miles better from what's being made today, but Northern Delight is superior. Unshipped box from was originally in stores. Yeah, I would imagine so. But they obviously went through it, because when I was there and they had all those mummies, they had Groove and Grueling mummies, which, those are kind of lame. But some were snapped off the base, and they had the batteries removed from them, but they were all corroded as heck, or most of them were at least corroded as heck. And the ones that were damaged in some way were actually marked down in price, I noticed, which was pretty cool. So if I go next year and look for those Groove and Goalies and stuff, I'm gonna grab the worst looking ones for hopefully the lowest prices, and then completely restore them. So yeah. But in terms of the the whole iDog anniversary thing, I feel like so Furbies are getting remade. They got remade last year. They've been remade a few times. Zuzu Pets got remade. The hamsters, I heard, are coming back eventually, like in like a year or something. And yet we're not seeing anything new for these guys. So hopefully something will come of, this. I Snow Miser. I Snowy. Yeah, there's been a lot of people getting Jimmy prototypes in recent years, and it's honestly crazy. Like, I remember when getting prototypes was just like the most obscure, not obscure, but like protos were like the most obscure things ever, and now people just are just getting them like hotcakes. It's because of the Castle Muscovy, that's why. But I don't know, because after the stories of what happens and like how like crazy people can get there, honestly, is it really worth it? And it's in a whole nother state, and I don't really know, because I don't want to, like I was saying earlier in the stream, I don't want to get stuff just because it's a prototype or because it's rare. I want to get it because I actually genuinely enjoy the item. I don't want to succumb to the pressure of other people or collectors that you have to have prototypes in order to be a good collector, or whatever mindset that is. I know nobody probably said that, but like that's like a mindset that I feel like a lot of young collectors have nowadays. And that's not a good thing to do. You should get the items you want to get, regardless of rarity. If it happens to be super rare, yeah, go for it. Hunt that item down. But if it's not super rare, you shouldn't be ashamed of getting it because it's not super rare. If you genuinely enjoy the item, I love my Blue Vest Snow Miser. Yeah, it's the most common one, but it's my favorite snowflake spinning snowman. Similarly, like there's items that are common that I've been looking for forever. Jemmy Snowflake Holding Frosty. I have that now. I got that at a Goodwill. I've been looking for it like forever. This thing, it's not rare, and it's not like that, sought after, but it's a freaking cool item because it has the original Jimmy Durante recording. Similarly, what else? I'm trying to get another Cowboys Rock and Randall. Sure, it's the most common Rock and Randall. Was like 50,000 of them made, but the Cowboys is my team, so that's why I want to go for it because I genuinely enjoy the item. Do I like Eminem? Yeah, I'm not like obsessed or anything. Like when I hear the songs on the radio, I don't like listen to them in free time. But if I hear them on the radio, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty cool. The trees, your profile picture is pretty cool, honestly. I don't know if you made it but the art style, I like the art style. And the trees are such cool. How big are they? Because I used to think they were the size of a snowflake spinner, but honestly, I've never actually seen one in person. If I see one at a thrift store, I'm not passing that up. But yeah, they're so cool in the fact that they have so many movements through so many motors. I don't know if they have 2 or 3 motors. I think they have the head and the mouth, the arms, and the tree skirt or whatever, or the tree thing. I don't know if those are 2 separate motors. I gotta get one to find out. Anyways, I do remember that trade. I still have the hip swinging mechanism for that. Basically, what I did with that was I put it in a Flirty Flasher Bear, the one that played the stripper from Walmart, and I like customized it. That fried out too because I like cooked everything to the one motor, and that cooked it, so I had to part that out. And I have the hip swinging mechanism still. So, but I haven't used anything yet. But maybe, hopefully, I'll use it for something later down the road. 3 good. Okay, that is one of the best deals I've ever heard of. All 3 mouth movements are for. What a shame. New transit. Okay. Good luck getting that working. Dang, that sucks. They're the same. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, looks really nice. Jemmy Kid. Let me take a look here. I can't really see. It's very small. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like the snowflakes in the background. I had to look for a second because it's so small on my little screen. In terms of, finding either Oh Christmas Tree or Northern Delight. Isn't there one that plays Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree too? And isn't there one that plays Christmas? How many versions are there? I think there's, not considering like the colors, I'm pretty sure 4? Correct me if I'm wrong. The Northern Delight, Oh Christmas Tree, which only comes in green, Christmas Time, and Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree. I'm pretty sure. 5! What's the 5th one? What am I missing? Wait, Female Christmas Time, or I think. Wait, no, am I tripping? It's okay. I know for sure those 4, and I think there's one that's like possibly Christmas Time, but it's a female singing. I don't remember 100%. I'm not an expert on those. You probably know way more about them than I do. Douglas for Wreath from Goodwill. Excellent find. Fortunately, the mouth and eyes are not that hard to fix on Douglas fir wreath, or on Douglas fir in general. I don't know if the wreath is harder because it's a wreath, but you should be able to find the little plastic cover covering the motor, remove that, get that motor, unscrew the motor, take that guy out, replace the gear, hit it back on. But yeah, great find. I found 2 Douglas firs at Goodwill's this year. I found the dancing one with the small eyes and the 18-inch, or 16, sorry, inch. The box has 16-inch eyes. I sold them both for pretty good prices, and I still have my deep voice version. That's the one I'm keeping. The one with the clear eyes. Joe the Snowman, that's awesome. Joe P! Yeah, my profile picture is just the eye fish. It was the eye fish for a while, and then I changed the background and the lights on it. But yeah, I think I'm just going to stick with that, because the eye fish is honestly my favorite iDog spinoff. I know the iCat's popular one, but for me it's the eye fish. Not because of how bizarre it is, but just because it's you know, it's a breed of it's so much different than, it's not what you'd expect from iDog. Yeah, it's like the Sega one, but even from the Sega, it's set apart from itself. And it's a fish. Who doesn't love fish? I love the spinning. I love the lights. I love the lights in the tail, especially. All the songs that it has, etc. Favorite iDog spinoff. Oh, Christmas tree. Christmas time. Northern Delight. There's a female Northern Delight. So that means, okay, so that means it plays the Jingle Bells parody in a female voice. Possibly. Actually, I'm curious. I'm going to look that up now. Oh, wow. It does exist. Green female version. UK version, maybe? It looks like Haunted Skull has it, which could mean it's a UK version. Oh no, that's rocking around the Christmas tree. That's rocking around the Christmas tree. Let me go back to my chat here. Why is it not working? It's not loading. Come on. There we go. There are no okay, that makes sense then. So that means it's like gotta be like the most obscure one out there. Cool. Blue vest, snow and frosty, red vest, green trim. Pretty good. I used to have more snowflake spinners, but I sold most of them. I don't think it's necessary to have more than a certain amount, just because how big they are and they all do the same thing. I have the blue vest, obviously. I have my red vest, green trim, the Bell Spinner Santa, and I have that factory error Cowboy Santa, the lasso spinning one, with the the one with the African American face and the hat in hand, but his other hand is white, which makes no sense. I don't know how they messed up that bad. Brand new blue peppermints are always ridiculous. All the peppermints are overpriced nowadays. I don't even want the peppermints. Why is the green peppermint such a big thing? It's so objectively worse than red and blue because it doesn't, the base has nothing on it. The base for the blue one has the snowflakes. The base for the red one's the peppermint design. It doesn't even spin peppermints, but rather snowflakes. It has the other 2 peppermint ones have a more detailed vest rather than just the standard sparkly green vest on the green one. It's objectively worse than the other 2, and it just plays Snow Miser like the other 2. And I just don't like how they look. It's so overrated in my opinion. The blue one is much better. Honestly, the red is the best of the 3 peppermints, hands down, in my opinion. Also, this is all much my opinion. Don't take any of it, for granted, or for like, this is how it is. This is just my opinions. Red is the best one, I think. Whether it's Peppermint Twist or the French one, I think red looks the best and just is the best, even though it's the most common. Blue is good. I like blue. I don't mind the Snow Miser repeat, but I think it's unique. I think it's definitely. I wish the base were actually the blue peppermint instead of just the standard base with the snowflakes around it. But yeah, if I ever see a green peppermint at the thrift store, I'll get it, but I'm selling it right away. I don't really plan to keep it. Plus, it can make make so much money. So, on the flip side, though, the Santa, the bell spinner Santa, is such a different spinner than any other spinner of its kind. Not only does it have 2 songs, but they're 2 really good Christmas songs that recordings that don't get used that often. Maybe Jingle Bell Rock does, but that is an objectively good item, I think. And yeah, Hats Off to Santa's pretty good too. So that's why I'm probably never gonna sell my bell spinner, because it's a genuinely good decoration. I don't really put them up for display that much, just because that thing is so hard to find. I don't want to risk anything happening to it. But every once in a while, I'll display it with downstairs for the Christmas display for when people come over, and it always looks really nice. And I'll have the Snow Miser to the side of it, and it's never been a problem. I never have batteries in it because don't want a chance anything happening to it. But yeah, most of the time it sits in its box. It's in its box right now. I had to fix the hat arm a few years ago, and I recently gave it a new bell, but it doesn't look as good as the others. Anyways, I need to stop yapping. I had a blue peppermint. That is crazy. You should find out who it went to, because that thing is really cool. Snow Miser. Green was your childhood item. That is so cool to be able to say that a green one was a childhood item. I saw that. That was what was his name? Adam, right? I think he was the one who did the custom. He did a good job on that. So that's really cool. Now here's the thing. It's my opinions. Obviously, I can't say anything about how you feel about the item, because I never had one, never grew up with one. You grew up with that item, so obviously it's gonna mean the world to you, which makes total sense. For example, this is objectively the worst 2005 iDog because the lights don't shine through the eyes. But this was my first 2005 iDog, and this thing made my 2012, 2013. I used this thing so much because I was so blown away by how the 2005 was different than 2007. I love this thing to pieces. So this is a top 5 iDog for me. Even though objectively, yes, it's the worst one, for me, top 5. So I completely understand what you're saying about the green peppermint, and that goes for everyone here. That is such a good thing about collecting. Nobody can take from us our own experiences with the items that we grew up with and that we experience. No one can take that from us. No one can change the childhood experience. Those are ours, and those are something that we can be proud of, and that we can continue to just look back on by expanding, and living that again. It's such an amazing phenomenon, and I'm so grateful to be able to relate to that. So I could go on and on about that again, but yeah. I do not really like Sexy Miss Snow Woman. It's weird. It's probably one of my least favorite spinners. I'd much rather have the normal Santa Baby ones. I used to have the green Santa Baby one, but I sold that one. If I ever see the blue one, we'll see. I wish the red one was produced, the one that goes with the white trim, because white trim is pretty lonely. Rockin' Robbie Christmas tree. It's cool. Not my favorite thing in the world, but it's not a bad thing by any means. Literally all Ari talks about is an ordinary light or fans. Honestly, I don't really understand the hype around fans. I know a lot of people in the fish community and Jemmy collect fans, but I can't say anything because I collect robot vacuums, and I know there's a lot of people who could be like, I don't know anybody who collects robot vacuums. So I respect, you collect what you want to collect. Again, that goes back to what I was saying. Your experiences are your own. Your childhoods are your own. I grew up with a robot vacuum. I grew up with a couple robot vacuums, so they were a part of my childhood, and that's why I try to find them and collect them and fix them and sell them. you know, those experiences are our own, and we should hold on to those. So yeah. Let's see here. Weird ass sussy snowman. Yeah, sexy Miss Snowman is so odd. Like the outfit is just lustful. I hate to say it, but it's just not that good. You know. It's like, yeah, sussy snowman. So remember that video where Rock and Robbie went possessed? Peppermint Twist Snowman. Oh yeah, Peppermint Twist Snowman is objectively, okay, maybe not objectively, but my favorite of the Snow Woman 2 because of the song. I don't care if it's the one with the hair or one without the hair. Honestly, it could be either one. I actually think the one without the hair looks better, to be honest with you. But yeah, but yeah, either version, amazing spinner. I think the French one is on par, but I just love Peppermint Twist as the song, so that's correct. The sexy one was sold in the UK. Two Song's great. Two Song is a little overrated though. It's a good snowman for sure, but I think it's a little overrated. Just for slight change in the recording of Snow Miser. And Let It Snow is pretty generic. I don't have plans to get a Two Song. If I get one, I'm probably going to sell it just because it does almost the same thing as the One Song. What I do like about the Two Song, though, I will give it this. I like how the snowflakes only light up when it twirls the snowflakes, whereas the other ones just stay lit the whole time. That is one thing I absolutely love about the Two Song. So I think the Two Song is miles better than the Green Peppermint, for example, but the One Song takes the cake for me. I don't either, because the Two Song and the One Song sold in the same year. So, yeah, I don't really get why they did that. But it's not a bad item. I think it deserves the respect that it gets. It's not as overrated as, like, Green Peppermint, but it's also not as rare as Green Peppermint. So a lot of the reason that came to be... I like Two Song better than Red Peppermint, actually. I know I just talked about how good Red Peppermint is. I think Two Song is actually better than Red Peppermint. I think all of the Blue Vest ones in general are like better than the Peppermint series. Honestly, I think the Red Vest Green Trim is better than the Peppermints, and like the one with the blue outfit. I think all of those types of snowmen are. I don't know. I just think the Peppermints didn't really. That was an age where they were starting to just kind of throw them out there. They weren't becoming as special anymore. Dollar General. Yeah, I remember when Dollar General sold Jimmy stuff. You Let It Snow on the spinner is I don't think it fits per se, but it's a welcome addition. I like that. I love the hat movement when it says "Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow," where it goes up and down and up and down. I absolutely love that on it. And when it says "Merry Christmas, everybody" at the end, it's pretty charming. So. Now, I was honestly expecting this to go a little more towards these guys, but it's all good. I don't mind talking about Jimmy stuff. Didn't Dollar General sell sniffing spinners? I honestly don't know. I wasn't into them at the time they were in production, so I was not paying attention. I don't even think I have a Dollar General within a decent amount. I think the nearest Dollar General away from me is like 10 or 15 miles away, but I have to double check. The guy who sung the Two Song Snow Miser audio. That would be pretty cool. It's honestly weird because besides the introduction, besides that part, the instrumental of the Two Song and the One Song is identical. The only difference in the One Song is they actually took the official Snow Miser recording for the first part up until where he sings. Then they switched it to the Two Song instrumental. And they have a different vocalist. I need spinners. It sucks how overpriced they are, but check Marketplace. Marketplace, if you have some local to you, then you can usually get some for pretty good deals. Oh my gosh, it is so cool to actually like introduce people to other stuff. In terms of Douglas firs, yeah, it's really cool to be able to be that light that gets other people interested in that kind of stuff. Yeah, the 2-song audio. That's because the 2-song is more popular than those other items, or people like the 2-song more. They know if they first heard of the Let It Snow from the 2-song, so they say same recording as a 2-song, which is true. But like, yeah, I get what you're saying. I don't know if there's any like proxies that import. You might be able to try to check to see if there's anyone that can import. Um, yeah. Just like how I was talking earlier about, I use Zen Market to import from Japan. There might be some website, if you do research, that would be able to import to Poland. I never bought spares on eBay. I got mine from eBay and thrift stores. That makes sense. I've found 3. I want to say 3 at thrift stores. Yeah, 3 at thrift stores. I got my blue vest from Mercari years ago, 2018. Red vest I got in a trade. The Bell Santa I got an OfferUp, local pickup. And I got a legged version of the blue vest at a Salvation Army for $20, and I sold that because it was like the same thing as my blue vest, and it was like the same pitch and everything. Fully worked though. Besides the adapter, I had to replace the adapter jack. I got a mini red off eBay at one point. I fixed and sold that, and years ago I had a mini blue as well that I also got from eBay. I got a lot of them for eBay, huh? And I traded that to Bone Lost Fish Market. Might buy one through UK. Yeah, there's a few that pop up there. Surprising, actually, but yeah. Now I think we're gonna cap the stream soon because I have to do some more filming for the 20th anniversary of iDog. There's a few more things I want to try to film today. I might be going to Long Beach today, possibly. I'm not sure I think we're just gonna explore a little bit down there because I know my mom's been wanting. Actually, no, my dad's been wanting to go. But yeah, I'll definitely. Sterling's here. Let's go. Yeah, I do plan to stream more often. It's been hard for me to actually stream. The last time I streamed was in that mall. Let me know if you guys want me to do something like that again, by the way. But now that like Christmas is over, or like there's not much in like stores anymore, so it'd have to be like some kind of thrifting adventure. But red peppermint, 2002 blue vest and frosty. That's pretty good, honestly, from a thrift store. I was hoping to find more spinners. Yeah. Oh yeah. The other ones I was gonna say, my Cowboy Santa, the African American version, the factory era one, that was OfferUp, and then I got 2 normal or white Cowboy Santas. I guess the only reason I said that is because they never actually produced an African American Cowboy Santa. It's a factory error, which is honestly weird because they've done different. They've done the African American versions of other Santas before, and then for this one they like. It's almost like they were going to do it, but then they're like, nope. I don't really know what the lore is behind that. I would be really curious to hear the lore behind that. What's up, Animal World ITA? But what was I talking about earlier? Yeah. That would be pretty cool. If I did, I would probably go to Red, White, and Blue thrift store. There's 2 of them. The 2 when I go back to college, when I go back to Pomona. Because those were really good thrift stores. So, that being said, I'll just leave it for a little bit. I'm going to go grab some water and then I will come back for a bit. Actually, never mind. I have water right here. We're good. I'm just kidding. When you're yapping for an hour about collecting stuff, you get pretty thirsty, I guess. Yeah, this turned into more of a Q&A compared to like demoing. I think I've demoed like one item. But yeah. Bro, I think we're like lagging. Or my thing is glitching. Hold on. Oh, never mind. We're not lagging. My screen just like froze for a second. I don't know if any of yours froze, but I think we're good now. All right. See you later, Jimmy Restore. I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this up soon too, in like a couple minutes. I'll answer a few more questions though. How do you and Sterling meet in person? Do you live in the same state? We do not live in the same state. The first time we met up was in Las Vegas because we were both there for New Year's, so we met at a Savers. That was the first time we ever met in person. And Maddie was there too. The second time we met up was that summer meetup. He was on a road trip and he happened to stop by, and we spent I think 4 days together fixing stuff, going thrifting. We spent 4th of July together. So yeah. That's true. We met on YouTube for the first time in 2017. I guess I thought you meant like in-person meetups. But yeah, we met in 2017. He actually reached out to me asking how to get his grandma Spy Dog out of sick mood, and I explained that whole thing. And he did a video on YouTube on it in bored mood, and I was like, that's super cool. And we just kept talking about it. He got his first iDog, the Black Dance. I think he had it by then actually. And then he just started uploading iDog videos, and at the time the iDog community was relatively small. So, I was always commenting on his videos, and we were just always talking. Eventually Discord became a thing, so we got on Discord, we got in the iDog server. And yeah, it just took off from there. He was the one who convinced me to actually continue collecting iDogs in like 2017, 2018. I was like done for a while, and then I was like, all right, let's get back into it. Yeah, brain rot's weird. Can be kind of stupid though, or it can be kind of funny though. Yeah, I do remember that. Do you know if that Goodwill you have from the last stream still had the life-size witch? It did not, because I ended up going back and it was not there. I couldn't have picked that up if I wanted to because I didn't have a car. I took the bus there, and I don't know how I would do that. So, and I never really cared to get a life-size witch, to be honest. So I left it for someone else. So do it with your friend in Florida. Do it, dude. It's so fun. Because that way when you connect in person, it's a whole nother level. Because you can go do stuff together, you can go thrifting together, you can fix stuff together, etc. And the summer meetup with Sterling was one of the coolest experiences ever. Highlight of the summer for sure. That and when I visited Maddie. 2 biggest highlights of the summer. But yeah. We've been going for a little over an hour here, so any last questions from any of you guys? Let me see. Eye of Destruction? No, thank you. Unless there's like a yellowed one. I don't know. I would actually never destroy an iDog just because there's no point in doing that when it could be used for parts to fix other iDogs. 30 minutes? That's sick. That's really cool if this collector is actually near you. I don't honestly know of anyone who's actually nearby. Or at least within a reasonable distance. Buy a Northern Delight. They're so hard to find though. I mean, everything on eBay, I can look right now. Everything on eBay is a Christmas tree. Northern Delight. And if it is there, they're like overpriced. Oh, hold up. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, that's a Christmas tree. People put Northern Delight in the freaking title, but it's not actually Northern Delight. I don't know. I'd have to do like I'd probably have to go on like Marketplace and do like a really generic search, like dancing tree. Yeah, eBay's been dry, but in terms of, at least in terms of like, actually, I take that back. It hasn't been that dry. Dry is a real. I say dry all the time, but that's a relative term. Sometimes there's good stuff there, but it's overpriced. Sometimes there's nothing at all. Um, but yeah, will I ever buy a Jimmy Fire Warming Santa Snowman? Probably not. Honestly, it's a weird item, so I don't really care to own it. I don't think it's. If I got it, I would just sell it, and I don't think it's actually profitable. I don't think they actually go for that much on eBay. So that being said, I probably would just pass. But I'd probably take a picture though, or unless you wanted it, I don't know, maybe. But yeah, that's awesome, dude. Bro, I won't take your try Zen Market. Zen Market might work better for you, or buy Animatronic Zone. That's right. I do remember him. Yeah, I do remember. He had a lot of. He was big into Grave Rivers, I believe, at the time. All right, so I think we're gonna go ahead and cap it here. Maybe, you know what? I might do a. Maybe I'll do a dedicated Q&A video. Honestly, that sounds like a nice idea. The British one. I still gotta look and see what that's a thing. See ya Holiday Studios. Let me know if I think I might do a community post where I'm say ask me whatever, and I'll actually do a dedicated Q&A video. Let me know how that sounds. I think that would be pretty cool to do. Fix your Titans pictures. Well done. Those are actually pretty hard to get into. So hats off to you, bro. Yeah, I'm gonna do a community post. Go to my community post, and I'm gonna do a dedicated Q&A video. Some eventually. Drop whatever comments you want, and I'll try to get to them all. And if we don't get that many, I probably won't do it. But if we get a decent amount, then we'll see what we can do. So yeah. That being said, thanks all for sticking around. I hope you all enjoyed the live. Happy 20 years to iDogs everywhere. Big stuff coming. I got some big uploads coming later today. I have a big video dropping today at 2 p.m. Pacific time of the history of iDogs, my experiences, how I got into this, and some of the advancements that the iDog community has achieved in the past few years. So that's going to be a very cool video of me just yapping. So if you don't care about me yapping about iDogs, you don't gotta watch it. But if anyone wants to watch it, it's going to be there. So yeah, thank you all for watching the stream. Thanks all for dropping in. I hope you all enjoyed, and y'all have a great rest of your day.